And welcome back, Geek Lifers. We've had a little bit of technical errors here. I want to make sure that everybody can hear me, but yeah, we've had a little bit of issues. A little bit of issues on the tech side, but we're going to get this rolling with our top 10 favorite kaijus. I hope you guys enjoyed the interview with Matt Frank, the Kaiju King. It was a lot of fun stuff we got to talk about. Really grateful that we got a chance to do so. I mean, the guy's an absolute legend. I don't know if you guys got a chance to check out some of his work, but it's absolutely amazing. And again, we're really lucky that we got that opportunity. All right, but I am running things on the back end here. But tonight we've got after our interview with the iconic Matt Frank, it got us thinking about one of the most important, one of the most popular film genres, the giant monster run for your life kind of movie. Godzilla is probably the most famous kaiju, enormous beasts who have populated Japan's drive-in cinemas since the 1950s, but he's not the only one by any means. No, there's a whole universe of kaiju who have fought many a clunky battles against each other over the decade. There are massive dinosaurs, mutated insects, oversized robots called mechas, and crazy things from outer space that just want to destroy everything in their path. So tonight, we're ranking our top 10 kaijus of all time, and I am going to kick us off with number 1. And number 1 is going to be the Stay Puft Marshmallow Man. That's right. Oh, there we go. So the Stay Puft Marshmallow Man, also known as Mr. Stay Puft, is the Michelin Man meets the Pillsbury Doughboy meets a giant kaiju. He's a paranormal creation made from a literal god. After images of him are seen on an advertisement of a bag of marshmallows earlier in the film, this giant creamy boy waddles into the climax of Ghostbusters as one of 2 physical manifestations of Gozer, a god, who is defeated when Stay Puft is destroyed. Stay Puft is exact to scale height in the movies, about 112 feet, about 34.3 meters tall, while his height in the novelization of the movie is given to be about 100 feet. So he's a little bit chunkier than he was in the novels. But the Stay Puft Marshmallow Man was the most adorably terrifying kaiju ever to grace his sticky fingers across skyscraper buildings. What do you guys think about the Stay Puft Man coming in here at number 10?
Definitely probably one of the coolest experiences of all time would have been to be in New York when it just completely rained down toasted marshmallow.
Right.
I mean, if it didn't incinerate you, you know what I mean? Like, I got a feeling it could do a little incineration. Like that was something they downplayed in the movie. It could be like molten lava. But for some people, it just looked like they were like almost, just coming out of it and like, oh, look at me, I'm just covered in fluffy marshmallow. Like, bro, I love marshmallows. I eat them raw. I hit marshmallow raw all the time, and I love.
You hit marshmallow raw all the time, really?
Yeah,
really, Jake?
Those things, bro. I just straight up eat them.
Oh,
don't need to melt them. Don't need to toast them. And so, like, I would have just loved to have been in New York. But no, the fact that he makes the list of kaijus, I know people were probably gonna say, oh, he's a ghost. That was a big thing. Like, whenever we were putting this list together, I was doing a little research. A lot of people pushed back. They said, oh, the Stay Puft Marshmallow Man, he's not a ghost, or he's not a kaiju. He's a giant ghost. But like, fuck those guys. He's a kaiju in our minds, and that's why he's number 10 on our countdown this week.
Yeah, it's crazy. The Stay Puft Marshmallow Man is he's adorably
terrifying. Marshmallows, yes, please.
Yeah, it's one of those things where it's adorably terrifying, and it's like I don't know how to feel about a giant marshmallow just having its way with my city. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Like, but I kind of want to bite his ankles a little bit.
Right.
At the same time, but I also don't want to get smashed by marshmallow fluffy feet.
Yeah.
How does that work?
How does that work?
You got to.
I guess he's so heavy it does smash you because he is so giant. But it would also be really interesting if what if everything he stomped on it just kind of like went in and came out. You know what I mean? Yeah. And just was covered in marshmallow, and you were like, "Well, this is inconvenient."
I'm sticky everywhere now.
Yeah.
Yeah, it does seem like a really inconvenient kaiju, to say the least, right? It's gonna be a mess to clean up, Godzilla's gonna punch into him, do the atomic breathing, he's like, oh, this just smells delicious and it's a mess, So, I think that earns him a good spot as one of the top kaiju for sure. Anywho, number 9 on the countdown is another interesting pick for a kaiju. Sax, you got number 9 on the countdown. Who's coming in at number 9?
Oh, at number 9 we have Clover. You know who that is? Cloverfield monster. While the monster does not possess an official, consistent name, members of the film's crew, including Neville Page himself, on concept art for the creature, and many fans have taken to calling it Clover, a shortening of the film's title, Cloverfield. In the film, the creature is designed by the United States Department of Defense as LSA, an acronym meaning large-scale aggressor. In Japan, the creature is sometimes referred to as Hakasai. Can't say that right now. I'm tired. Which comes from the Japanese word destroyer, also comes from the Japanese word like mongrel, like destroyer, breaker, wrecker, all of that. So it means many things. Also, a fun fact about Clover is that it's an American kaiju that was originally thought of by J.J. Abrams after he and his son visited a toy store in Japan. You know, he was in Japan promoting, I think, Mission Impossible 3 at the time. Abrams thought, we need our own monster, like our own American giant kaiju. And he said, not like King Kong, but something a little bit more insane and intense. In the first film, the creature was considered to be an infant, but he stood 25 stories tall and withstood missiles, artillery shells, and bombs with minimal injury. I mean, if he was 25 stories and was a baby, I don't want to see what his angsty teen years are like, because it's just going to be a problem for everybody.
Oh yeah.
And apparently he gets so much big, like 25 stories is like 250, 300 feet.
Yeah.
Apparently he gets something like 1,000 times that size. So it's
like breaking into the stratosphere. That's just absolutely
huge.
crazy to me.
Yeah, full-grown Clover monsters are insane. Like, just how big they are scale. You posted something in the Discord about it, and it was insane thinking about one of these just being able to scoop up a little Godzilla and be like, oh, num num num.
Yeah, humongous. Like what, almost 30,000 feet. That's insane.
No, it's a crazy, gigantic monster. I think that the scale of Clover is hardly taken into account a lot whenever it's talked about in these conversations about great kaiju. And it's one of the only uniquely American kaiju out there. So I think that is another big point of it. But
USA.
I mean, literally, I've never seen a kaiju that breaks the clouds like that. And that, to me, a scale of something that huge is just terrifying, in my opinion, personally.
No, I agree. That first movie was... I remember watching that first movie, and I was like, what is this? What abomination is this that is destroying everything?
Right.
You know what I'm saying? But it was, he's a monster.
A absolute monster. Well, Jake, you've got the next one in here is also equally a monster, but not. But the next one's a bit more of a mind fuck, if I'm not correct. Right? Would you agree?
I would definitely say so, Dodd. Number 8 on this week's countdown is Starro the Conqueror. Starro has all the strength and durability you would expect from a kaiju-sized starfish, along with other powers like flight, energy manipulation, and regeneration. So long as some piece of his body survives, Starro will always eventually grow back to full health. His greatest strength, however, is his psychic talent. Starro is a telepath who can control the minds of others, even powerful heroes like the Green Lantern. Which it's so funny that I use him as an example, but in the comics, that was one of the more deadlier ones that he took over. For some reason, whenever you say Green Lantern, I feel like most people think of movie Green Lantern. So anyway, got to
So unfortunate.
Preface that. Green Lantern's pretty badass. Starro can also spawn millions of smaller duplicates of himself, which can then attach themselves to his prey and control their bodies as long as they remain bonded, as we all saw in the recent Suicide Squad movie. Basically, Starro combines all the worst things about kaiju and xenomorphs from the Alien franchise. Normally, Starro in his full-grown form is several hundred feet tall, enough to knock over buildings and generally wreak havoc on major cities. But in some cases, he's grown large enough to cover entire oceans and terraform planets. Fortunately for Earth's heroes, Starro has a few key weaknesses that are easily exploitable. Often these weaknesses seem to be completely arbitrary plot devices. For example, in his original battle with the Justice League, the team's useless sidekick, Snap Car, saves the day because his quick lime covered body proves immune to Starro's power.
Okay.
It is in a later battle Starro
So if you
receives
cover
a
yourself
power
in
boost.
limes, you're immune to Starro's powers.
I guess
Starro's just anti-margarita.
quick lime covered body. Yeah, he's basically. I think it's something maybe with salt. Who knows?
Jimmy Buffett is immune to Starro.
He was later boosted by drawing in polluted water, only for Aquaman to turn the tables by summoning a flood of clean water. So Starro does have many weaknesses, like we saw even Harley Quinn jump through his eyeball with a javelin. You could also send a whole army of rats, I guess, to eat him out. That's the other way. But yeah, no, I mean, there's a reason why he's number 8 on the countdown this week is because he is a badass. I didn't know he could terraform entire planets until I was starting to put this thing together. Starro at full capacity, close to like Cloverfield's monster, can get pretty fucking big.
Yeah, no, he's a full-on, full-faced, fledged kaiju that can really
do what
really shake things up.
You said the rats would eat Starro out.
Oh yeah.
You did say
No,
that
they do.
that's
They
what
literally ate him out though.
Yeah,
From the
they
inside.
would eat him out. Yep.
They ate him straight out, guys. Like, damn. So y'all don't.
Everyone's
be
adding
marshmallows raw.
Everybody is adding Jake in the
Y'all
comments,
don't.
being like phrasing.
So y'all don't smash marshmallows raw, and y'all don't think Starro got ate out by rats. Like, what the dude?
Something's
you
on
guys are
Jake's
weird.
mind tonight, guys.
You guys are weird.
He's hungry, hungry like the wolf. All right. Oh man.
Yes, I'm gonna keep saying it.
Yes, he's definitely gonna keep saying it. Just double down. Just double down. And speaking of doubling down, the next one is a character that definitely doubles down on the campiness. Number 7 in the countdown is Gamera. Gamera, in the world of kaiju cinema, Godzilla is widely believed to carry the crown as king of the monsters. As a monster responsible for kicking kaiju films into full gear, though, Gamera has rightful title to that title as well. But lurking the shadows, often cast aside, despite the loyal Region of Fallers, is, of course, the fire-breathing turtle that is Gamera. Written off as a poor imitation of a kid-friendly version of the giant lizard, Gamera is treated like a little brother. It's cute that he tries hard, but not everyone takes him very seriously. Overlooking him, however, would be a mistake. While Gamera does not have Godzilla's polish or notoriety, he is every bit as worthy of sitting atop the kaiju throne. Gamera's design has remained essentially unchanged over the years. He's a giant dark green turtle with sharp claws and a mouthful of sharp teeth. He also has 2 protruding fangs similar to that of a saber-toothed tiger or a warthog. He also likes to walk on his back legs as if he's like a person. And of course, that's not his only means of transportation. He can literally sprout wings and fly. And if that doesn't work, then he can literally spin around in a circle like a rocket as a turtle. Like he does like a little rapid spin maneuver, the rapid spin from hell, where you can just start whacking across buildings and stuff like that. And like he's a super campy, weird kaiju who can withdraw his limbs inside of him and spin around like a rocket. Why wouldn't you love that? You know?
Throw that shell in a circle.
What's not to love?
Exactly.
Throw that shell in a circle.
Exactly. Throw that shit right in a circle, you know? I think that it belongs there. Within the circle. But yeah, Gamera coming in at number 7. Have you guys even heard of Gamera before this countdown, Jake?
Oh, fuck yeah.
Yeah?
Yeah, totally. Those films in the 90s, they were amazing.
Yeah. Sax, what about you? I feel like people haven't heard of Gamera as much. I guess I underestimated Jake, obviously, but
yeah.
Oh
no, dude, I'm the kaiju prince.
Yeah, there you go.
That's what they call me.
Yeah,
kaiju prince with the beard. I love it. And the supreme. No, I know about Gamera. Not in extensive detail, but my uncle, God rest his soul, he was a big Godzilla fan. So
yeah,
if it was on TV or on the kids don't know anything about this, the VHS and VCR,
The before times.
It was
The
the
before
before
times.
times.
And the before times.
Yeah. So yeah, I remember this this mutant ninja turtle, if you will.
Yeah.
This
Oh yeah,
giant
that was
turtle
non-teenage.
Definitely not teenage.
That's
No.
a grown man turtle with
Definitely
responsibilities and an ex-wife.
I feel like
The-
the inspiration for Giga Bowser.
The rocket turtleness of him was always the craziest shit.
really
And
was.
I think
Oh,
like
yeah.
I think they would try to like change it if they ever tried to make Gamera like with a comeback, but like if I'm being honest, no.
Okay,
Like,
okay. Somebody out there, like, do one of those $5 edits where you get a picture of Gamera, of just reverse the image of Gamera coming into any battle where he's like spinning like that, right? And just reverse it so he's going away instead of "fuck this shit, I'm out." That would be perfect. That would be
Or-
amazing. I want to see that.
They let it rip.
Yeah,
that will-
exactly. Let it rip. That'd be great.
That would be a good one too.
Oh my gosh. All right. Well, that will bring us to number 6 on our countdown. And 6 on the countdowns is definitely a big one. Sax, what do we have coming in at number 6 on the countdown?
At number 6 on the countdown, we have the one, well, maybe not only, Mechagodzilla. In actuality, Mechagodzilla isn't one kaiju, but many different designs in origins. Its first form debuted in 1974 as a robot designed by aliens to kill Godzilla before it was defeated. The second version of Mechagodzilla was constructed as a means of fending off attacks from Godzilla and other kaiju. The third was built from the template of the first Godzilla, destroyed in 1954, but went rogue when its memory engrams kicked in, sending it to destroy Tokyo. So, no matter what form of Mechagodzilla takes, it's bound to be entertaining. I mean, we've got 3 of them right here, you know what I'm saying? So, Mechagodzilla's out here, getting bodied while trying to catch bodies of, the king, Godzilla. I don't know why they stepped, but, they tried.
Yeah.
And but they keep coming back. They're like roaches. They just keep coming back.
Yep.
It's awful. So what about you,
Mechagodzilla will never die.
No, it won't. It won't. I mean, it keeps on coming back. I mean, but in this last one, I don't know if that's canon for what he always does. If he always is made from like King Ghidorah's brain, or if that's how the lore goes or whatnot. But I think just linking him to another kaiju is kind of it takes away from his autonomy as a really formidable threat. I mean, I always liked him as the answer to Godzilla that the humans were making was to make just a big giant robot version of him, which I think I've seen in some iterations of Mechagodzilla before. But what's not to love about a giant mecha robot version of Godzilla? I mean,
Exactly.
Thank you.
It's got to be up there when you're talking about it.
Godzilla with chrome.
Godzilla with chrome. Exactly. But Jake, of course, when you're looking at kaijus and you're talking about kaijus like Mechagodzilla, you can't get better than the original, right? You got to go back to the original if you're gonna talk about what's moving up on this countdown. What comes in at number 5 on this countdown, Jake?
Oh, number 5 of this countdown is one of the few kings. We've got a few. We've actually got a few kings.
Yeah, we got a few
now that I'm
kings.
thinking about
Yeah.
But King Ghidorah, number 5 on this week's countdown. The kaiju is one of the most memorable in the Godzilla franchise, thanks largely to its menacing 3-headed design and horrifyingly destructive powers. Not of this earth, King Ghidorah is actually an alien creature with a bad history of destroying other planets. When it makes its way to Earth, Godzilla and Rodan join forces with Mothra to defeat it, and that wouldn't be the last time Ghidorah made an appearance. Each time it shows up, Godzilla is in for a thrashing. King Ghidorah isn't actually the most gifted of Godzilla foes, but a 3-headed dragon is pretty iconic, you gotta admit. He simply looks cooler than some of the more powerful bugs, crabs, and robots that we've seen Godzilla fight in the past. One of the most badass things about him is that he's got 3 heads. He flies at Mach 3. He can unleash tornadoes with a wag of his 2 tails, and he shoots gravity beams from his fucking mouth. Not so badass. He's almost always under mind control. He may just be an underdeveloped kind of like mythical Japanese 8-headed Hydra. And the worst of all, he has no arms. So, you know, he does has a few disadvantages, and that's why he's not.
But, you know, he's got two
higher.
heads. He's got two heads that he can use as arms, right? That's how he worked in the Godzilla Destoroyah monsters. The ones he would pick up buildings,
Three
he'd
heads,
pick them up.
my guy.
He would pick
He's
them
a
up. Yeah,
Hydra.
he's got 3 heads, but he's got two heads that he can use as hands. Essentially,
Yes.
he would pick up
Essentially,
buildings, and he would
two
head
hands. Yeah.
You use them like claws, like crab claws. That's how he would do it in Destroy Monsters. How he would pick up buildings and shit like that. He would throw them with his 2 other heads.
He picks his nose with the tips of his wings. Actually, we've seen it live. Yeah. But no, so that's number 5 on this week's countdown. King Ghidorah. He's got to be there. You know, like the reason why he's even above Mechagodzilla is because in some forms of Mechagodzilla, he's not even Mechagodzilla without King Ghidorah. So you know, he just had to beat him out on this countdown.
Had to beat him out.
But he's not the baddest king that's on this countdown.
Not the baddest king.
Who do you have at number 4 this week?
We have a slightly badder king than King Ghidorah, and that king is the king of Kongs. That is King Kong. King Kong, the big monkey. I've always personally been a big fan of King Kong. You know, I think that King Kong was created as a giant movie monster to make us feel more human, and I think that that's one of the cool things about King Kong is that he can kind of do that. And we saw that a lot more in this last iteration. He was even like, you know, the kaiju that can use tools. We've never seen that before. We have never seen a kaiju that can pick up and start, you know, swinging axes and stuff like that. So I just, I love me some Kong. I think he's a fantastic kaiju, but one of Godzilla's chief rivals is undoubtedly the great ape himself. The towering Kong is a veteran survivor of harsh environments on Skull Island and a force of nature to be reckoned with. King Kong has faced off against Godzilla once before with hilarious results, and the two share an instinctual rivalry. However, Kong is clearly the more sentient of the two and is capable of communicating mercy and compassion if warranted. Kong has battled Godzilla twice now, once in the show era and in the MonsterVerse era of Godzilla vs. Kong in 2021. King Kong was the first monster to survive a fight with Godzilla, and he was the first to defeat him. Climbing the Empire State Building? Meh. Beating up a giant dinosaur monster who shoots fire and atomic breath from his pie hole? Now that's something to be proud of. So that's why King Kong comes in at number 4. Anything that would dispute King Kong coming in at number 4 here in the countdown, guys?
I mean, King Kong is definitely badass. I get why he's number 4. He's a very popular guy, and like you said in the newest movie, he's got an axe. That's hard to, you know, it's hard to argue against axes and whatever weird lore they have going on with the Hollow Earth. You know, it's like obviously the Kongs or whatever. But my first instinct is just monkey.
Just monkey.
Not lizard.
Just monkey. I like monkey.
Just
I like
monkey.
Monkey with axe.
Monkey, okay.
Monkey with axe.
Lizard.
Monkey with axe.
Lizard with atomic breath. Monkey with axe. You know what I mean? Like that's just like
with axe.
That's just me. That's just me.
Monkey with axe.
All right. Well, now that we've milked that topic for long enough, Sax, what's coming in at number 3 on the countdown?
Oh, well, number 3, we got a bad ones at number 3. Number 3, we got Destoroyah. This principal baddie was born from the very weapon that killed Godzilla in the original film, the Oxygen Destroyer. This menacing being starts out small, but soon morphs into one of Godzilla's most fearsome and malevolent foes. Destoroyah could handle some of Godzilla's attacks that would
Someone said butthole chest kaiju.
That would obliterate lesser foes. Plus, his regenerative capabilities and vicious nature made him terrifying in a pit fight. He nearly killed Godzilla outright, one of the few kaiju to manage it. Destoroyah comes at you with an oxygen destroyer array that vaporizes living things and can cut through metal. A horn on his head projects a blade that can slice Godzilla's nearly impenetrable hide. And you can never be sure you've actually killed Destoroyah, as he's actually composed of trillions of microorganisms and will simply regenerate when you're not looking. I don't need a 15 tall times skyscraper with Wolverine regeneration health abilities out here just bodying everything. See that's and this is why he's
especially
number 3
if it is a chest anus. A
Chanus,
chanus, if you will.
Yeah.
That's why he's number 3 on this list. He's out here like he killed Godzilla. You feel what I'm saying? It's like,
Yeah.
you know, this is what I mean. How many kaiju done it?
I
Not
don't know,
many.
man.
And
Not
it-
many.
There it is. And
No, and that's why I had to.
he
That's
died.
why he had to be at number 3. He's almost impossible to kill.
He's like the
beaten
bane of
Godzilla.
kaijus,
Yeah.
right? Like as in like he actually like broke Godzilla. You know?
Mhm.
Yeah,
100%.
but I mean, with a chest like that, I guess you could probably see why. You know what I
Right.
mean? Like Godzilla was
Godzilla's
probably,
like, I don't want to. That
Yeah,
feels
no.
weird.
Oh gosh.
or he was into it.
I will tell you
See,
this
I'm
much.
thinking.
See?
He could have been too. He could have been too. I will say I
Oh,
appreciate System of a Down for
Yeah.
giving him a shout out in his in their songs. Destoroyah, Destoroyah, Destoroyah.
You need to leave.
Okay. Well, that does it for number 3 on the countdown. But it wouldn't be a countdown if we didn't have a 2 and a 1, right? So we gotta get down to the top 2 here. Jake, who we got it coming in at? Who takes second place here? And this is the top, the second best kaiju of all time.
I mean, you know, second best is first loser, I guess is what they say, right? But
Yeah.
anyway, we've had a lot of kings, so we had to have the queen of monsters, Mothra. Has appeared many times throughout the Godzilla franchise, and you know, and on her own. And they're not all the same being either. At first, revealed, you know, to be this benevolent and very old kaiju, Mothra eventually died, paving the way for her offspring to take center stage in the following movies. The creature herself is iconic for its distinctive design, personality, and attack prowess. It may not look like much, but Mothra can hold her own in a fight, even if it means going up against Godzilla himself. She even has her own iconic theme song, which is something not all the rest of the kaiju on this list can even say.
Yeah.
Ooh.
But while Mothra isn't,
Mothra.
that's it. Yeah, that's it.
Yeah.
Actually, but while Mothra isn't known for her fighting, she has got some strong abilities, but doesn't use them all the time. Not as much as her, you know, kind of more rowdier male colleagues. But she has a mystique that nobody can touch. Mothra is worshipped as a goddess by native islanders natives of the infant island, and has 2 cute tiny priestess who speak to her. Mothra lays an egg that is always winding up in the wrong hands, and when she bites the dust, the egg hatches in a phoenix-like life cycle. You might kill Mothra, but she never really dies. So very similar to some other folks on this one, Mothra is just one of those that just keeps on going. And that's why she had to make number 3 on this. She has priestess that worship her. She's the queen of monsters, and you can't kill her. And she's went toe-to-toe with Godzilla multiple times. And I mean, come on. Like, I mean, a fucking sick design of a kaiju here. I mean, there's so many reasons why Mothra was number 10 on the or number 2 on the countdown.
Yep. Yeah, definitely an important one to have on there for sure. What do you think about Matt Frank?
Who do you want it to? SAG?
Yeah. Well, I would say like it was interesting hearing Matt Frank talk about how important Mothra was and how like underrated Mothra was. So hearing Matt Frank validate that, there was a lot of me that was with a lot of other people that was like, hey, you know, like I get why some people have issues with or why SAG might not be like, you know, so excited about the Mothra coming in at number 2 here, but Matt Frank is gonna back us up there.
Mothra's dope. Matt Frank backed it up. Fuck what you heard.
That's all we need. Baby. That's all we need.
That's all we need.
She got 2 wings. Fuck around and find out.
The fuck around and find out wing. Exactly. 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 All right. Well, that brings us to number 1, guys. And I've got number 1 on the countdown for us. You already know who it is. I'm sure you've got to assume at this point it's got to be Godzilla, right? Naturally, Godzilla needs to be at the top of the list. He's simply the king and always will be, no matter what crazy new design is given to him. Originally the mutated product of an atom bomb testing in the Pacific Ocean, the original Godzilla was a destructive force that needed to be put down. The second Godzilla has remained a series favorite for decades, switching from Of course, a control wrecking ball and protector of Earth and humanity, and to a short-tempered and intrinsically aggressive to most creatures, Godzilla will either eradicate a foe or attempt to drive it into submission. The wise kaiju cultivate his favor, while the brazen tend to taste the fiery end of his atomic breath. Godzilla uses a pool of magma like a jacuzzi and doesn't usually feel puny weapons like guns and missiles, and once survived a direct hit from an asteroid. His skin is rarely pierced, and even when it is, he regenerates rapidly. Godzilla can lift buildings and monsters that are much higher than him and throw them great distances. Chuck Norris is afraid of Godzilla.
Oh
Okay?
God.
That's how big a deal Godzilla is.
It's
Right.
dangerous right there.
That's dangerous. It's dangerous. Is there any question why the King of Monsters doesn't stack up on this list?
Hey, when you are the king, I mean, everybody else was cool. Zilla could just look down and be like, yeah.
We've got
I'm
demands
number
in
one,
chat for Reptar.
Reptar?
Reptar. The fans are shooketh that they don't get Reptar.
Yeah, Reptar should have made the list. I think they're right because Godzilla is just a variant of Reptar. If I'm remembering correctly, I believe that Reptar.
You may have gotten that from chat, possibly.
No,
Yeah.
I vividly remember if you do the history, if you look at it, Reptar, Rugrats, all of that, it was way before that was appropriated in Japan, and they made kaijus. They just made their movies in black and white for a long time. It was an aesthetic choice.
Yeah.
1000%.
1000%.
Yeah, so I get why Reptar. There's a lot of clamoring for Reptar, but I see why Godzilla would make number one for like a normie list. You know what I mean? Like if I was putting together.
For sure,
you know,
we were trying to do the hardcore list where we have Mothra and Godzilla at number 1 and 2.
Oh yeah, no, very groundbreaking stuff here.
Groundbreaking.
Mothra
Hey,
being this high, I do feel like some people would sleep on that because, like you said, there was a little bit of pushback. But you know, whenever we had talked to Matt Frank about it, he kind of validated my love for Mothra. So I had to. She was my top choice. That's how the numbers fall. I make the list. Fight me.
exactly. We do have some honorable mentions though, right? Rodan's up there. Kumanga, Mogira, however, Moguera.
Well, it's the anagram.
The anagram. Yeah. Space Godzilla, Manda, King Caesar, Ghidorah, Megalodon, Gigan, all the behemoths like Behemoth Titanus. I felt that the Kraken from remember Clash of the Titans should count as a kaiju, and that was going to be one of my favorites on there, but that one's kind of hard to still classify as a kaiju, so that was a kind of a technicality there in my opinion. But some big ones. Did you guys have any other honorable mentions that you guys wanted to shout out there?
I mean, Reptar,
yeah.
I got a ditto with the Reptar. Now I got a ditto with the Reptar. You know what I'm saying? It was
should have had Reptar.
Gang with the big, green dinosaur toy.
Yeah.
What
about the giant tentacruel? Remember we're talking about that, Sax?
Yes. Tentacruel. The episode that was it was banned in Japan for I think twice. Or something like that. It was because it came out during the 9/11 times, and then there was the tsunami that hit Japan. Yeah. And the whole thing with Tentacruel destroying buildings and stuff like that would have possibly triggered some folks because of the events that went on. But that was because Tentacruel normally isn't that humongous, but this one particular Tentacruel was kaiju level proportionate as far as size, and this Tentacruel was the symbol of justice for the sea. Yeah. You know what I mean? And this is why he did what he did. But I feel like he would have been an honorable mention, but didn't want to trigger anybody.
Couldn't get into the realm of what the Stay Puft Marshmallow Man was doing. There's a Supersonic Flash in chat, by the way. Shout out to Supersonic Flash. He's been here with us the whole time. Big kaiju fan, I'm sure. That he's been hanging out with us here all day and giving us some good suggestions for kaiju. But Biolante, I believe. I looked up this kaiju. This kaiju is basically a giant swamp monster mouth thing that is much, much bigger than Godzilla. Like the mouth could dwarf Godzilla in size, but it's like a big like swamp mouth with like a whole bunch of these different things in there, and Godzilla fights it and all that kind of stuff. So that's a really, really interesting one, especially have one that, you know, is like a giant plant monster thing. I think that that's always an interesting take as far as kaiju go. But yeah. Well, I think that that's going to about wrap it up, guys. Thank you guys so much for tuning into this episode of Geek Life. Thank you guys for sticking in with us for all these. Did I miss something?
Yeah.
What'd you say?
I'm just glad Sax got it. That show was funny. No, you're good, man.
Okay.
Yeah, keep going.
Great show, guys.
It was fantastic. Nothing you did, Dodd.
Okay, well, we'll wrap this up for this episode of Geek Life. We hope you guys enjoyed everything you see here today. Remember, if you want more of Geek Life, you can always follow any of us on our Twitch, Twitter, and you can find me at Roosebane. Jake, where can they find you?
Oh, man, I think I'm at Gonzo Gone Live on everything.
Yep. And Sax, where can they find you?
You can find me on the Twitch at _fattest_Sax and Javen Shepherd everywhere else.
Hell yeah.
And you can always check out more of our content on YouTube and Instagram. If you're watching this on YouTube, definitely drop us a like, leave us a comment, let us know what you think about anything. There's a kaiju that you had up there that you didn't get to see. Let us know in the comments. We'd love to hear about it. Big shout out to our moderator, Littlest Nelly, our video producer, Caperdoodle, and me. And thank you so much to our followers for the support. We had Littlest Nelly here, Supersonic Flash, we talked about earlier, Savage Patch Kid, Caperdoodle, Gonzo, everybody. Thank you guys so much.
Shout out to Matt Frank, too.
Oh, and shout out to Matt Frank. Yes, go, guys.
Awesome interview. Shout out to Matt Frank. Great interview this week. And thanks for everybody for tuning in for that, too. There was a lot of work went into it, and I'm glad we were able to put that together and get that kind of for everybody. I think that was fucking awesome. It was great talking with Matt. So
absolutely. Littlest Nelly's dropping some links to Matt Frank's art down there at the bottom.
Nice.
And definitely go check out all those events that he was talking about there at the end. He's got a lot of cool stuff, and I mean, I know that I want to bust of some of his stuff pretty soon, so I'm gonna see if I can work on getting me some of that. So anyways, guys, that's all we got for you guys. We'll see you next time. Peace.
Peace.